All right, so James sends in his LOI on Monday. On Wednesday, the broker calls James and says, James, we really like your 4x offer, but we just received 2 LOIs from other buyers. One was a strategic buyer who had a higher offer, but the seller is concerned about the buyer firing his employees or being big company culture when he's built this great small company culture. And the other offer is from a PE group who is about just under $1 million higher than you. The seller really likes you and sees a lot of himself in you. But James, to win the deal, you need to bring your offer up about $1 million. And just by the way, the PE offer expires Friday. So we need your revised offer by then. James should, and for those who just joined, this is interactive. So I'm actually asking you to tell me 1, 2, or 3. James should call his bank and see if he can get pre-approved for a higher amount to cover the additional $1 million of price. Should he put the new price into his financial model and see if he would still be able to get the IRR or return that he needs at the higher price? Or should he call the broker on Monday to see if the deal is under letter of intent, and if not, resubmit his same offer? Pull up the chat again. Okay, let me try to get it to, all right, I'm going with 3. Definitely do 1 and 2, but don't need to share the results of the seller. That's fair. 2, 2, 2, 2 or 3, depending on the deal. 3. All right, this is probably the most sort of ambiguous style points one that I put. But after doing this for 10 years, 80% of the time, as soon as I submit an offer, there's 2 other offers. I wish I would have taped all the phone calls. Every single freaking time. Not the day before I submitted an offer, not as I was contemplating an offer, but that day that I sent that offer in, let me just tell you how there was a strategic and there was a PE group. The deal's $1 million, strategic and a PE group. And as younger buyers, I think we have to recognize people are trying to play us. And if you haven't been doing a lot of negotiations like this and don't recognize that the broker both is tasked with maximizing the price on the deal, but also gets a percentage of the sale price, and so has a high incentive to boost it up, you really need to figure out how often do you believe that these other offers that came up the exact day or 2 days after you sent yours in are really real. And sometimes you like the deal too much, it's too close to your city, you're too into it to really be able to like step back and think about it objectively. But I would implore you to check the broker. So what's the working capital peg in the other offer? How long has the offer been in your hand? Is it strategic, the one across town, or is it in a different state? The PE group, is it, Johnson Capital or Sarah Capital? Really dig down on these other offers and see if you can blow up the fact that they're not real. The other thing I'll tell you, in this game, very seldom are deadlines hard dates. You're talking about $1, $3, $5, $10 million in somebody's whole rest of their life. They're going to be working for the buyer for a while. They're going to have to trust you on the seller note. So dates aren't hard. So some people are like, Elliot, if I don't put the offer in by Friday, man, I might lose the deal. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I got to just put the million in and figure it out in diligence. And some people are like, well, let me call the guy on Monday and see if it's under LOI. I, at this point in my career, almost always do 3. But you got to sort of think about what's going on. I would encourage you to really second guess these offers that come up the exact day you send yours in.
Hey, Elliot, that's interesting, and I think that has some connection to the discussion on the first case, right? So, when you think about making a deposit in trust, right, that really pays dividends when you're dealing with a good faith actor. And if you're saying that in your experience, you encounter quite often some posturing, right? In some cases, flat dishonesty. Well, that's probably not where you get the return on that trust, right? So while I, as an individual, will certainly, never be dishonest, going back to the notion of not saying more than is necessary,
Right.
particularly if I don't get anything back for it, makes sense.
You nailed it. That's exactly it. And one of the things that I encourage everyone to do is to get out of your head. And any good negotiator will, I have whiteboards all over this place. I've probably got 4 and these big old post-it notes that I'm always sort of mind mapping and thinking about. Zoom out and put yourself in the broker's head. He's got a portfolio of 30 deals he's trying to sell. He gets a percentage of each. He doesn't care who you are. If you don't buy it, there's 30 other people that emailed him today looking for deals. He's trying to maximize value on this particular deal. And think of where you are. This is like the used car lot. Do you trust the used car salesman? The transmission's good, I promise. Oh yeah, we got records on this thing. Axle, transmission, engine, top notch. Never been in snow. These are people who, in general, when people make money on transactions where they don't have recourse when they go bad, you have to understand they're pure incentives. And if you don't have any alignment with those incentives, these brokers have complete misalignment with your incentives at the time of LOI, you have to sort of know. Um, it's like negotiating a higher salary at your job. Oh, well, we can't go above 125 because that's the top of the band. And we tried to do it last quarter and we just can't do it. That person has no incentive to tell you the truth. So proceed wisely.